Well, I hope that answers your question. Yes, Pi can ride a bike, and not only can she ride a bike, she rides it extremely well. For those of you guys who don't know, this is the main highway that leads to Cheng Kong from Ban Seo. So Ban Seo is that way. You head on up to Cheng Kong that way. It's about 45 kilometres. It's not an overly busy road, but the actual quality of the road service is actually very, very good. And of course, when you look around, the scenery is just absolutely stunning. Right guys, we're going to go back home, and what we're going to do, we're going to go along the main road and then go through the back end of the village. It's a nice little ride. But yeah, as you can see, Pi can ride a bike, and she actually rides it really well. I'm not going to pretend and say I'm the best pillion in the world. I'm not. I'm like it in a car as well. I'm not overly keen on being driven. But I think really that goes for a lot of people though, isn't it? They, you know, you kind of give up that element of control, and it's not always comfortable. But I do spend time on the back, and I always feel completely safe with Pi riding. She's like me, she doesn't sort of go herring around. So here we are. This is the road that leads to Cheng Kong. As you can see, it's all mountains. It's a beautiful view, and again the conditions of the road here is really, really nice. It makes for an extremely pleasurable ride out. Over there in the distance are the Lao Mountains. Now just up ahead you can see a big corn cob. That's the corn processing plant, which you can see from the farm. So our farm is just about over there. Now you might be asking, why am I keeping to the outside lane? Well, a lot of the farm vehicles use the inside lane. So there's a lot of debris there. You do live in a rural community obviously, so you expect to have a lot of farm vehicles and a lot of mud. So yeah, it's a little bit safer riding on the outer lane. Another stunning temple. Just the scenery here though is just breathtaking. Never get tired of looking at it. Now the road we're going to take now, we're going to turn left and go into the village. Now this is the very, very back end of Ban Seo. And just as we go round the bend here, you'll see one of the local temples. So there's one of the local temples just here. And we're now back on the village road that leads all the way through Bansal. And all the little tiny villages in between. And it's pretty flat out here. There's not an awful lot, just rice fields and cornfields. But it is extremely pretty. I personally couldn't think of a nicer place to live. It's relatively safe. Roads are in pretty good condition. And it's stunning. The scenery is just absolutely incredible. I think it's always nice to get it out and about, and it's irrelevant the mode of transport you use. Travel is always a good thing. It brings about a bit of enlightenment and appreciation of other places. I really do like to travel around. There are lots of places here that we've been to that Pi had never been to before, even though she lived here. Most of the rural folk rarely get out. Their time is spent sort of toiling on their farms. So it's been nice, not just for me to explore some nice areas, but also Pi. On the small roads, the village roads, you do have to be careful. It's no good going through here at sort of 100 kilometers an hour. You do get chickens crossing the road, and dogs, and farm vehicles, so you do have to be careful. As you can see, this section of road here is all concrete. I must have ridden along this road a couple of hundred times already, and it always changes. The landscape's continuously changing, you know, from rice to corn to tobacco. And of course, when the seasons change as well, the colours change in the leaves. The mountains look different in the sunshine and then with cloud. It's a truly lovely place to live, it really is. I know a few people have said to me, you know, well, I couldn't live so remotely. But yeah, you know, different folks, different strokes. I'm not a lover of big cities. I don't like huge crowds around me. Even as a kid, I used to avoid nightclubs and things like that. It just makes me feel really uncomfortable, frankly. Having a stress-free existence for me is the key to enjoying life. I remember when I first started vlogging, I wasn't quite sure, but I very quickly warmed to it. A lot of people said to me when I first started off, you won't like doing the editing, that's boring. But I have to disagree. The editing for me is one of the really fun factors of vlogging. It's where you take all your footage and then piece it together to create something truly unique. I mean, Pi and I certainly appreciate that not every vlog we turn out is going to be a masterpiece. nor will everybody enjoy it. But you know, that's life, isn't it? You can't please everybody, and not everything turns out exactly the way you want it. I will say this for vlogging though, it does give you a very personal diary of where you've been, and it's amazing when I look back and look at the transformation in the last year alone. Yeah, it's quite remarkable, I think. People often think that their lives don't really change that much from day to day, but when you create a vlog, you get to see how much it does change. It's really very cool. This is Fam's school. Well, it's getting that time of day where I'm absolutely starving. I've got a funny feeling it might be worth a 20-kilometre trip to Shenzhen town and go and eat khao pat moo gob. I know some people might think, oh, you know, oh, I couldn't go all that way just for something to eat. But again, you know, I like riding the bike, so it's not really a chore at all. It's a joy. And it's not that far, it takes about 12 minutes. It's absolutely lovely. Just coming up on the farm road now where that motorcycle just pulled out. Just in here. That leads down to the farm. There's my father-in-law. He's off to the farm with his weed whacker or strimmer. He's got to go and cut down all the undergrowth. And this is it, guys. That's the little circuit. I often ride it. If I want to de-stress, I just get on the bike and just have a ride around that circuit. It's just really, really pleasant. Well, I hope that answers your question about Pi and the bike. Yes, she can ride, and she does ride extremely well. And we're back home. And then I'm going to ask Pi if she wants to go into Shenzhen town to eat. Weather's pretty good, so it'd be nice. Well, Pi and I just couldn't resist it, and being that we were already kitted up anyway, so we thought, yeah, we'll come into Shenzhen town and get a bite to eat. Pi's got rice with egg and squid. I've got the usual fried rice with crispy pork belly. I prefer my khao pat moo gob, but I'm not keen on squid at all. I really, really like seafood, but there are a few things that I'm not keen on. Squid's one of them. I always find it really rubbery and chewy. So yeah, but she loves it. Right, going to eat this and then head back to the house and then go to the farm, go and get a few bits and pieces done. Well, I've just come up to check on the fish net to see if we got any, and there's no catfish in there at all. Pi's dad did say he got a couple yesterday. Really cool little setup though. But with all the rain, of course, the creek is rising. So as it rises, you should get more fish. They caught a load last year. Somebody asked me how the ducks are doing. As you can see, they're doing just fine. Not laying very much lately though. Terrible, isn't it, sometimes? Well, that's about all from Pi and I today. Whatever you do, have a fantastic day and stay safe. Don't forget, guys, please subscribe, share and like. It makes a massive difference. And Pi and I, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.
See you tomorrow.